You know, I feel bad for Matt LaFleur. He goes 26-6.
Right.
His first 2 seasons as an NFL coach, and now he's got to deal with a mess that he didn't make and that he's not responsible for.
Yeah.
He didn't trade those picks to move up to get Jordan Love, the replacement for Aaron Rodgers. And I think there's a lot of tongue-biting going on for Matt LaFleur, who knows his job. He's the coach of the team. It's for others to make these strategic decisions, like trying to put Aaron Rodgers in the perfect zone of being mad enough to be motivated, but not so mad that he tries to blow it up. Well, he's mad enough to try to blow it up. And Aaron Rodgers is still unhappy with the Packers, and Matt LaFleur is the one who had to deal with the mess this weekend that still isn't cleaned up, Chris.
No, it's just, it's kind of like the unforgotten part of the whole story, really. It really is. I mean, poor Matt LaFleur, like you said. There's no issue there. He probably at that press conference wants to be like, listen, no, here, wait, me and Aaron Rodgers, we're fine. I talked to him earlier today. Go ask the front office. He thinks they're a bunch of jerks, so they're the ones that got to fix it. We're good. I know he likes me, and I like him, and I'm not the one that traded the first round, picks away to move up in the first round to get a guy to replace him. It's an unbelievable situation that he's had to deal with. I mean, he went into year one dealing with, wait, I got to deal with Aaron Rodgers, and can he handle him, and Rodgers the diva and all that. Passed it with flying colors, and then year two, he gets the organization to throw him a screwball and go, hey, it was so easy the first year. Now we're going to make our best player and the guy who's maybe the chippiest in the locker room disgruntled for you. Okay, good luck. 13-3 again? I mean, this is 3 off seasons in a row where he figures it out and somehow kind of just lays in the weeds and smooths it over. And that's, I think, one of the good things that you're seeing about Matt LaFleur. He's got a great way with people, and he certainly has a good relationship with Rodgers that way.
Remember 2 years ago, Rodgers pulled the strings and pressed the buttons and yanked the levers necessary to get out for public discussion.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
whole idea of his freedom to change the play at the line of scrimmage.
Right.
And he made it into a thing, and it got resolved to his satisfaction. And I think now in hindsight, when we look back at that, it seems quaint, frankly, in comparison to the issues that the Packers and Rodgers are currently dealing with. But I think it was instructive on how Rodgers gets things done and gets his way, because it worked. He got his way. LaFleur backed down. And LaFleur's smart enough to know, I got one of the best quarterbacks in football. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to work with him. And eventually, LaFleur is saying exactly what Rodgers wanted him to say. Why would I not want to take full advantage of the experience and the wisdom of one of the best quarterbacks to ever put on a football helmet? So that worked.
Yes.
But it's not LaFleur making the call this time. And Chris, so I did a mailbag over the weekend, and I always regret doing it because it ends up taking way too much time. But when it's done, I feel like I've accomplished something for a change. Somebody asked me, and this was a specific question, if you were Brian Gutekunst, would you trade Rodgers or keep him? And it occurred to me, number one, I don't think this is Brian Gutekunst's call. I think it's Mark Murphy's call as the CEO of the team. And I thought of 3 reasons why, if I was Gutekunst, I would want to trade him right now. And I think if we attach Gutekunst to a lie detector test, he probably would have to say he'd prefer to move on. And let me give you my 3 reasons, and you tell me if you buy this.
Yeah.
First, you're never going to get more for him than you're going to get right now. You're never getting more. He's the reigning MVP. If he slips at all in 2021, you're not going to get more for him next year. This is the time to maximize the return. Second, I already made the decision to trade up and get Jordan Love. I believe in Jordan Love. I want to be vindicated by Jordan Love. I mean, just like when we talk about Justin Fields, Bears moved from 20 to 11. Well, the Packers moved up. They made the reach, the grab for Jordan Love. Gutekunst sees something he likes. You get vindicated if Love plays. Let's go ahead and start the experiment. And third, hey, I'm pissed off. This guy wants me fired. This guy's trashing me in text messages. I want this guy out of the organization. He's undermining me. So if I'm Gutekunst, why don't I want to trade him?
Yeah, listen, I think out of your 3 points, they all make sense. But to me, from everything you're saying, like reasons 1 and 3 make a lot of sense for Gutekunst. All right, and reason 1 was you have the max leverage right now. You said right to trade him. He's the MVP of football.
You're never going to get more.
Never going to get more. Got you there. you know there's a quarterback that's pissed off that wants you fired. Sorry, Manchester, and everything like that. They want you fired. They want you out the door. So, yeah, you'd like to get him out of the program. The second thing you talk about, the Jordan Love one, right? That's the one that's a little tricky to me. Like, you're right. You drafted a guy. We want him out there. We want to get it going. But I think what would be scary to me right now, and you could tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know here. I'm just listening to you and throwing this out there. If I was Gutekunst, I would just be worried about egging my face from the standpoint of Jordan Love's not ready right now, and the team is good. And if they went out there and fell apart and Jordan Love ended up being the reason, like, man, the Packers went, 8-9 and didn't get in the playoffs, and Jordan Love threw a lot of interceptions and cost them games, man, Gutekunst, it's going to be like he's going to have a bullseye on him in a big way. So I would think that might be the only thing that would maybe scare Gutekunst away from like really wanting that to happen, at least. What do you think of my assessment there?
Well, first of all, well done on accounting for 17 games. That is something that I continue to struggle with the 8-9. But secondly, and this astounds me that these organizations, despite being worth multi-billion dollars, we can have these periodic failures of imagination where when they were plotting the move to get Jordan Love, because this surely isn't something that Brian Gutekunst showed up the first night of the draft 2020
right
and just caught some crazy impulse and say, hey, you know what, here's something that'll be fun. Jordan Love's available, let's trade up and get him. You had to have thought through this, and you know who you're dealing with in Aaron Rodgers, for crying out loud. To make this move, to not tell Aaron Rodgers about it ahead of time, to not tell him about it at any point until after the name's on the card, how do you not see that you're going to put yourself in this spot, potentially?
That's the big thing.
And whatever attracted Gutekunst to Jordan Love, see, if I'm Gutekunst, the fact that last year we didn't have a first-round or a fourth-round pick rookie who could come in and help us beat the Buccaneers and get to the Super Bowl and potentially win it, that makes me even more determined to show people why. Oh, you want that receiver or defensive back that we would have had? Get a load of what we got instead. So he's got to love to I guess this is my point, and this is why that second factor means so much to me if I'm Brian Gutekunst.
Yeah.
To throw your life into turmoil the way that he has, that suggests to me that he sees something special in Jordan Love. Why not find out now what it is?
That's a good question. I hear you. I mean, obviously, I think there was that thought of that, like of all those things you explained, and that's why they made that move to draft him. But again, Rodgers, of course, has had a hand in changing the circumstances a little bit with how he's played. And, I think, too, the offseason of last year probably changes that thought a little bit, like we've talked about. It was not a full offseason. We have yet to see the kid play preseason football, right?
They knew that was the way
when they
drafted him.
You're right. Yep. So there's no excuse there. So, again, maybe it's something they just saw throughout the year and they just go, wait, he's not ready yet. We know that. And that's why they can't do it. I don't know. But, yes, I mean, you laid it out there. And at the very least, it was a bad read on how to handle the situation with Rodgers. I think that's where it started to go south. They read him wrong, and they read on how to handle the situation completely wrong. And that's where it's been a disaster, and that's really where it all stems from.